Hey guys, I'm Charlotte Robertson and I just quickly want to talk to you about glute activation for flexibility. So I've got some exercises coming up in the video which are all about engaging your glutes to help you with your flexibility. Why is this so important? It depends on what skill set you're trying to improve, but most of the time when we're looking to improve our flexibility, the thing that holds us back is our active flexibility. A lot of the time that is driving from the glutes to lift our leg up and behind us, and this applies to splits or back bending training. So it's really important to be able to understand how to activate them. So in this video, like I say, I'm going to give you some exercises which are going to guide you towards how to activate your butt and give you kind of a little workout plan that you can use before your training to help warm you up and also increase your active flexibility and really train those butt muscles. Exercise number 1 is going to be donkey kicks. So you're going to be on all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, extend one leg back. From here, keeping your hips super flat and stable by engaging your core, you're going to lift and lower the leg at the back. You don't really want to come much higher than hip height because you really want to focus on keeping, like I say, the core engaged at the back nice and flat and the hips in line the whole time. Variation here is to bend that knee, flex the foot, and you're aiming to drive that heel to the ceiling. So tap the knee down and then drive the hip up. This time the foot is coming higher than hip height and you're really trying to push it up towards the ceiling. Again, maintaining a neutral spine by having your back nice and flat and your hips also super stable. Sit back to child's pose to finish. The next exercise is the donkey kick again, but I'm just going to show you a variation here with a resistance band. So you're going to loop it around your foot and around the same hand. From here, you're going to kick slightly back and then up, again leading with the heel. And with the added resistance, you're going to really begin to feel that in your butt. Same thing applies here. Try to keep bracing through the abdominals to keep your back nice and flat and also your hips nice and stable. Repeat for 8 repetitions and then you can rest. Moving on, we are going into a shoulder bridge. I want you to think about drawing the belly button in, tilting the pelvis and keeping your heels pressed down to the floor. So it's almost so you can wriggle your toes in this position. You're going to drive up, squeezing your butt, tilting your pelvis and kind of peeling away from the floor vertebrae by vertebrae and then peeling back down to the floor. All the time pressing your weight through your heels and squeezing your glutes to start. Try and think about keeping your palms facing to the ceiling just in case you tend to press your hands into the floor to kind of help you out here. So weight through the heels, squeeze your butt, tilt the pelvis, drive the hips up, and then lower them down. We're going to move on to a variation of this exercise, placing a band looped around our knees. So it's still the shoulder bridge exercise. This time as you place your feet on the floor with the band around your thighs, just above your knees, you're going to think about squeezing your knees out to the side. So you're pressing your knees away from one another. We're going to squeeze and tilt back to our shoulder bridge, and that's so important. You must squeeze your butt and tilt your pelvis before you begin, and you can really see this here. When I lower, I then squeeze and tilt, and then I begin to peel off the floor. Keep squeezing the knees wide at the top. So all the time pressing those knees outwards, using the band's resistance to help us out and help us really activate those glute muscles. On the final one, you can hold at the top, squeeze the butt, think about drawing the belly button towards the spine, and then we're going to squeeze our knees out and in, trying to keep our hips pressing up to the ceiling. So small squeezes out and in for 8, and again you can imprint back down to the floor, hug those knees in and have a rest. One more variation here is with a stability ball. So you can see I've got a stability ball here. Band is again around my knees again. I'm going to bring myself up, so kind of anywhere from my bra strap upwards is resting on the ball. This allows me to have some space to drop my hips and then squeeze my hips back up to the ceiling. All the time I'm still squeezing my knees outwards, so squeezing my knees away from one another, dropping and tilting my pelvis backwards, and then really trying to reverse the movement by tucking my pelvis under and pressing my hips up towards the ceiling. To come out, the easiest way is just to slide your butt down to the floor and then sit up. Last one here, we're looking at Arabesque Leg Lifts. So I want you to stand nice and tall. You can do this with a pole in front of you, hands on about shoulder height, but we're trying not to use the arms too much. You're going to point the foot out behind you, and then from here, keeping both hips facing forward the whole time, you're going to squeeze your butt to lift and lower your leg. A variation here is to step backwards so your hip is directly under your hip, long flat back, and again holding on just for stability but not to assist you, and lift and lower your right leg here as high as you possibly can, aiming to create that alignment from ankle knee to hip and then hip to knee to ankle. Repeat this between 8 and 10 reps for each exercise, and of course repeat every exercise on both sides.